This is Plant-Based Briefing. Are animal farms poisoning our organic food? Part 1 by Bonnie Toye at Gentle World, posted at all-creatures.org. And I'm Marian Erickson, and this is the Plant-Based Podcast where I curate and narrate with permission a variety of articles on plant-based and vegan living in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. But this article was a bit longer than that, so I've broken it into 2 parts. I'll read part 1 today and then tune in tomorrow for the second half. And I'm pleased to have permission from all creatures to share their content. So now let's get to today's plant-based briefing. Are animal farms poisoning our organic food? Part 1 by Bonnie Toye at Gentle World, posted at all-creatures.org. Buying organic food is not just about health. It's about aligning with values of sustainability and a desire to opt out of agriculture's most destructive practices. But what if even your organic fruits and vegetables are quietly tied to the systems you are actually trying not to support? Beneath the clean, green image of organic farming, there lies a troubling truth. Surprising as it may be to some, many organic crops are grown in soil enriched with the byproducts of animal farming and slaughter, along with the toxins absorbed by the animals throughout their lives. When integrated into the soil through animal-based agricultural inputs, these persistent pollutants can be taken up by plants. This quite obviously raises fundamental questions. Organic farming aims to protect both human and planetary health, but partnering with animal agriculture is a contradiction of these underlying values. Even certified organic vegetables may be fortified by the remnants of animals who lived short, miserable lives in confinement, treated with hormones and antibiotics to speed up their growth, and fed on fish from toxic waters and/or genetically modified and herbicide-laden crops. Under USDA organic standards, crops must be grown without synthetic pesticides, herbicides, GMOs, or chemical fertilizers. However, the same standards allow a wide range of quote-unquote natural soil amendments derived from animals. There is no requirement that these animals were organically raised. In fact, they almost always come from conventional slaughterhouses, CAFOs or concentrated animal feeding operations, and industrial fish processing plants. In addition to the ethical baggage of a system already rooted in exploitation, these inputs also carry chemical and pharmaceutical residues from an entire life cycle of toxic exposure. The fact that these soil amendments are considered organic approved because they are natural misses the bigger picture, that they are inseparable from systems of industrialized violence, and they contaminate the soil with harmful substances that the animal industry uses indiscriminately. The transfer of pollutants from contaminated soil to produce is a recognized environmental concern and a key area of study in environmental science and agriculture, often discussed in the context of soil remediation and food safety. The very process that makes plants useful for cleaning up contaminated soil, phytoremediation, is proof that they absorb pollutants. Numerous studies have analyzed crops grown in soil contaminated with heavy metals or persistent organic pollutants. These studies consistently show that plants take up these contaminants. According to a Johns Hopkins study, feather meal, used commonly to fertilize organic crops, has been shown to contain residues of arsenic and pharmaceuticals used in poultry farming, including antibiotics and antidepressants. These contaminants persist in the soil and can enter the organic food supply through plant uptake or in groundwater. Manure and composted waste from CAFOs often contain antibiotic-resistant bacteria and glyphosate residues from GMO feed crops. Studies have documented that these substances persist even after composting, posing risks to soil health, water systems, and ultimately human health. Fertilizers like blood and bone, feather meal, and meat and bone meal, or MBM, are derived from the rendering process, which processes animal body parts that are considered by industry standards to be unfit for human consumption. Unknown to most, this includes animals categorized as 4D. 4D animals are those that are dead, diseased, dying, or disabled when they arrive at the slaughterhouse. Under federal regulations, these animals are condemned from use in the human food supply, but their rendered remains can be used in the fertilization of soil on organic farms. Fish-based fertilizers are no less concerning. Fish from polluted waters bioaccumulate toxins like mercury, PCBs, and microplastics, as well as everything else that washes into the water from industry on land. Fish meal and fish emulsions used for organic growing deliver these substances directly into the soil. The industry practice of using fish-based animal feed allows the same contaminants to further bioaccumulate in the bodies of land-based animals such as cows, pigs, and chickens, before ultimately entering the soil in the form of manures and post-slaughter byproducts, such as the blood and bone rendered from animals fed on those fish. On an environmental note, some fish meal comes from species such as anchovies and sardines, which are critical to marine ecosystems, another reason their use should be banned in organic farming. You just listened to Are Animal Farms Poisoning Our Organic Food? Part 1 by Bonnie Toye at Gentle World at all-creatures.org. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson. Tune in tomorrow for the second half of this episode, where you'll hear about the problems vegans face with this situation and some things that can be done about it. So please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.